when it comes down to identity, I was really just introduced to like understanding like, yo, you're a white and black girl, probably like a half a year ago.
What's up, everyone? This is your girl Angela here, and today we have Miss Alyssa Heartbreak.
Hey guys.
I do not know your government name, but I think that's perfectly fine.
Alyssa Heartbreak is good. Yeah.
And today we're just going to be talking to her about what she does, who she is, what she's about, and all that. I remember seeing you and I was like, oh shit, I met this girl at like a house party back in the day.
Oh, with Desi.
With Desi.
Desi,
Mhm.
girl.
And it was, I don't even know, yeah, it was somewhere.
That's when
I
my
don't know where it
nickname
was.
was like Pinky, and I always used to wear pink.
I was gonna
hair
ask you
was
about
probably-
that.
Yeah, my hair was probably straightened. I'm a Chicago native, born and raised, Logan Square, Northwest Side. That's where I be. I am 23 years old. I'm a Pisces, and I'm really true to like horoscopes, astrology. It helps me define myself in ways like I can't even find words to do it. I am a model. I actually recently got signed to Lily's talent agency here in Chicago. Thank you. So they're more of a talent agency. They focus a lot on like commercial print and acting, which is great. They're a great agency here. However, I am transitioning into going to New York next week. I want to be more
Like official move?
official move.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
I'm also a freelance writer, so I write just about anything that's on my mind, anything that intrigues me or intrigues like my supporters, people who I talk to on a daily basis, whether it's on Instagram or like face to face. Like I just like picking at people's minds, and I like them picking at mine.
Before modeling or writing, did you have other jobs or in school or anything that kind of led you to this path?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it didn't lead me to this path necessarily. I didn't go to college. When I was in high school, like at the age of 18, it was so foreign to me for everyone around me, like my peers, like my senior peers, to know exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So like I had people telling me, oh, I want to be a psychologist, I want to be a nutritionist, or even other things that were like very specific, like, oh, I want to be a creative director for this company. And I was just like, damn, like how do you know?
Yeah.
And I've always been an extremely indecisive person, or very like I like to explore. You know what I mean? Especially like exploring internally and externally. So for everyone around me to know what they wanted to do, it really made me insecure, and it made me feel like, damn girl, you can't even go to school because you don't know what you wanted to do. But I didn't know I can go into college undecided of what I wanted to do. Like no one in my family had been to college before. I was gonna, potentially be the first. So, and I don't know, even like at school, like my counselors, I didn't feel like they were appropriately answering my questions. Like I really thought I had to know what the fuck I wanted to do come August after I graduate high school. And I'm like, no girl, you don't know what you want to do. All you know is you want to make some money. You know what I mean?
Money.
That's all you know.
Successful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So by that point, I was just like, okay, I'm not going to school, but I ended up working. So I got a job at this like really popular franchise spa type of company, and I did a really good job there. I quickly got promoted to like a regional trainer, and then I got like a designated manager position, which was all good. So by the time I was like 21, like I was popping a little, you know what I mean? Like I'm making like 50 G's a year, young as hell, bought a car, bought 2 cars, like, cause I went through one, bought another one.
That's great.
So yeah, I was making money at a young age, and that really pushed me away from school, because that's something people do tell me a lot is the more you put off college, like it's just gonna keep being put off because you're gonna start to have
money.
you're gonna get distractions, you're gonna get responsibilities, and then you're gonna have to decide, damn, now I got all these bills and all this shit. Should I go to college and spend more money and like you know? So that's what ended up happening. Didn't go to school, had a really good job. The job was taking up so much of my time. So much of my time, bro. I'm talking about like 60 hours a week. And I was young. Like I had just, I was like growing into a woman at the time. So I was just like, fuck this. and I quit. And it literally took me from like 21 to like 22 and a half. So literally like a year and a half. I was just not really working. I was just like hustling, you know, like little odd jobs. Yeah, here and there, little hustles. Whatever I could do. I also had money saved up though. Like I wasn't that stupid. I had money to get me by. And throughout that year and a half, I would just wanted time to be on my own and like find out like who is Alyssa, like what does she want to do. So that's how it pushed me like back into questioning myself, like what are your morals, what are things that make you happy, what don't you mind spending your time on while making money. In November of 2017, I started modeling again, and this time around, like I just realized I was actually really good, and not even like really good, but I was better than I used to be before, and I knew if I just disciplined myself and practiced more, I would be much better.
And confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Confidence goes such a long way, and you're talking about like taking time to actually look into yourself and ask those questions.
So from like 18 to 22, obviously you're at two completely different stages in your life. You know, like at 18, I thought I was confident. You know, oh, you're pretty. Oh, boys like you. You know what I mean? Oh, you have a little job, so you have a little money. You know, like that little confidence. But as you get older, you start maturing more into women. I just feel like your definition of confidence changes. And not that the definition changes, but you realize what confidence really is. Because of how fucking tough this world is, and like you need that confidence, and that's exactly what I had when I was 22 that I didn't have when I was 18, and how I was able to like actually go ham with modeling and like be satisfied with like the work that I can now produce.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And in terms of your modeling look, I would say you're mixed. Well, I would assume you're mixed. She'll answer that question. But you have obviously a certain look. Do you want to talk a little bit about your background and your experience
definitely.
in the modeling industry in Chicago?
Yeah, so my mother is white. She's German and French. And, you know, everyone could go way back. Oh, then I'm Native American. That's what my grandma be saying. But, you know, she's white. My family is white. I don't get all into that shit. My mom is white, she's German and French. My dad is black, he's African American. I never met my dad. So my mom, she had my two brothers when she was 20, and then she moved to Kansas City. And that's where she met my father, whoever my father is, she met him and I was conceived. As I'm getting older is when she like starts giving me more information about him. When I was younger and I would ask these questions, she would never, I don't know, she just like omitted it from me.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was a light-skinned black guy. This is from what I know. He was a light-skinned black guy. He had freckles like me. I looked just like him. He had curly hair. But his curly hair was red. And he wasn't even as dark as you. He was lighter than you, according to her. Like, he was extremely, like, light-skinned. But it was obvious that he was a black guy.
Yeah.
But she thinks he was mixed with something. Just because, you know, like I look like I'm mixed with something, so maybe he was mixed with something.
Did you have issues with like connecting with your black side when you were younger, connecting with black peers?
Yeah.
You don't know any of your black family?
No. From my dad's side, no. I don't know any of my family from my dad's side because I don't even know him. My mom doesn't know.
So then peers, teachers.
Okay, whatever. So growing up, I always knew I was black because my mom would tell me. However, based off of the color of my skin, you're like, what the hell, girl, no you ain't. I grew up in Logan Square, which is kind of like a west neighborhood of Chicago, and this is before it was gentrified. So it was
gentrified as fuck.
Yeah.
Now.
But it was predominantly Puerto Rican kids, black kids, and Mexican kids. So I grew up in that neighborhood. I went to Monroe.
Okay.
It's on like Lawndale and Wrightwood.
Yeah.
Monroe. Everyone from Monroe watching this. But yeah, so minorities, you know, but it was mainly Spanish kids. It was mainly Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and then there were some black kids. So yeah, I grew up like my mom told me I was black. My grandmother told me I was black, but I grew up with a white family. I have two older brothers. They have the same dad. I have a different dad than them. They are white and Cuban. So the interesting thing is since they have like a Spanish mix in them and I have a black mix in me, we do kind of look similar. Like we have like, you know, like the nose, the eyebrows. They have beautiful colored eyes though. Mine are brown. Thanks, Dad. My mom's
brown
eyes are
is
blue.
beautiful.
Brown is beautiful, but I would be popping if I had some blue eyes. But so growing up, girl, I remember like I knew I was black. Like I had crazy big curly hair. I looked different, but since I grew up with predominantly Hispanics, I really like adapted a Spanish culture.
Okay.
Like I can't speak Spanish, but if you tell me how to say the word, like I sound like I could fluently speak Spanish. Sometimes people think like I have a little accent from like where I grew up.
Yeah.
I remember in elementary school, you know how like they would have like those days where like, oh, come dressed as twins and like shit like that. They had one where it was like rep your like ethnicity, and I was so like unknowing of who I am, even though I knew I was black, but like I didn't have any black friends, you know, like black girls didn't want to be my friends, Spanish girls wanted to be my friends, white girls didn't want to be my friends. It was always like the Spanish kids who would, they just took care of me.
They probably thought you were Latino also.
Yeah, even though I would tell them like I'm not, but you know, whatever. In like 5th or 6th grade, one of those like come dressed up as this day, it was like come dressed as like your ethnicity, wear colors that represent your ethnicity. So my mom was like, okay, like African flag, like blah blah blah, and I was like, Mom.
Your mom was for the people.
Yeah, but I was like, Mom, no, like I don't. Because this was like the age when you're like 12 or 13, you know what I mean? So like I really cared what people thought about me. And even though I would tell people I was black and white, I would also lie to them and tell them I was Cuban like my brothers. Like I was lying because I wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
So on that day, I told my mom like, no, like I want to dress up like my brothers. I want to wear, what's the Cuban flag? Red, white, and blue? Yeah, I was fucking wearing red, white, and blue. And I was like, no, like I want to go in. I want people to like think I'm Cuban because this is what I'm telling my friends, and like they won't understand because I don't even look black. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. So it was just like it was really weird. Like during that time of my life in high school too. High school is obviously like more diverse, but I still always found myself like in predominantly like Spanish groups of people. But I was introduced to more black people in high school, definitely. And I would say like the ones who really introduced me to black culture was just my friends, girl. Junior year in high school, I kind of like ventured off into just like my own self and like solitude, really trying to figure out who I was. And I started like purposely like hanging out with more black people because I knew I was black. And I was like, yo, like, fuck y'all Spanish people, I'm black. You know what I mean? I just wanted to be me, and like I wanted to explore another side of me.
Yeah. So
like junior year is when it kind of started. Once I graduated high school is when it kind of like fully formed. I started like just connecting way more with black people than any other race. And like I remember like the first black guy I dated, he was telling me about all these movies like Menace to Society and Jews, you know,
all
like
black movies.
All the black pop culture movies, and I had never seen any of them. So when we were dating, girl, we always had something to watch. Cause and to this day, I still haven't seen all of them. You know what I mean? But
this was after you graduated.
Yeah, this is after I graduated. Junior year is when I kind of like was more introduced to the black community. But once I graduated, it's like the first time I dated a black guy, so I was really in it. But yeah, so I really like relied on relationships with boys. I started dating who were black, my friends who were black, and if you look at all of my closest friends now, they're all black. They're all black. They never make me feel like I'm less than them.
I was gonna ask you, how does that relationship feel?
My friends, they never make me feel like I'm less than them because of the color of my skin. They never make me feel like I'm acting more privileged than them because of the color of my skin. But I think that also may be like an economic thing as well. You know what I mean? Like I didn't grow up with a
class definitely comes
you know, so like we all share like similar like struggles and like where we used to be, where we're going. But yeah, I feel like the most comfortable like with Black people. You know, I have white friends, but I don't really connect with them. The people I'm closest to who are white are my family.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself in difficult conversations with your family or with your Black friends when it comes to like race issues, if that ever comes up?
Yeah.
And I'm saying both just because you said your family's predominantly white and then your friends are predominantly Black, so you being both.
Oh yeah, girl.
Do you ever find yourself in
it's
like
so hard.
sticky situations?
Yeah. So the good thing with my family is they are white, but they are not what everyone's opinion of, like the popular opinion of white people is. You know, my family is not racist at all. My family, like my mom fucking loves Black guys. Like that's all she dates. You know what I mean? It's just like my family.
But you could love Black guys.
Yes.
And still not know
that is true.
Kardashians, love them, but
that is exactly true. The thing is, like, my family, they know they're white, they don't appropriate any culture, you know what I mean? They're just like, they're cool people.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the money aspect that makes them humble. And, you know, like, I don't feel uncomfortable with my family. They don't say anything sideways about, like, my other side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're easy. They're easy for me. And since I grew up with that, I'm becoming more familiar with it now, but growing up with like not having any like fear or like misunderstanding with white people, it really made it hard for me when I was like 21, 22, 23 now, and I've had like very opinionated Black friends like talking so much shit about white people. I'm like, yo, wait a minute, like I'm white, like you see the color of my skin, like I know you know I'm Black, but you also met my mom. My mom's white as hell.
So checking them out.
Yeah, you know, like, and they are mindful about some things they say, but you know, like when people feel strongly about something, like they're gonna say what the hell they need to say. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely been in kind of like debates with my friends who are Black. And it's only because like I'm trying to protect myself and my family, and it's also because I don't fully understand and I want an understanding, because I fortunately I didn't have to grow up like you. You know, it's a privilege I know how to check my privilege, and I just want to understand why you feel the way you feel. You know what I mean? So like I can like check myself too. So if I come off any type of way, or if I see my family may say something, you know, that I just don't understand or I don't see as like being like discriminative or racist towards you, like I just want to know. So we definitely like had conversations that borderline go into debates, but I always, since I'm not as educated as I would have wanted to be, like a Black person is, and on our culture, I do like stay in my lane. Like I definitely stay in my lane. I don't get out of pocket, because at the end of the day, I know I have a privilege.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's really shit.
When it comes down to identity, I was really just introduced to like understanding like, yo, you're a white and Black girl, probably like a half a year ago. Like I always knew it, but like I never
there's a moment.
and it was a moment where I was like, yo, like all this racial sensitivity is happening, and like, you know, like you're right in the middle. And I was introduced to it by my best friend Jada. She's a Black girl, 100% Black. Like about 6 months ago, she had me just watch it. You know, kind of corny, but it was just the easiest way for her to educate me. Like, girl, sit the fuck down, watch all these documentaries on Netflix.
Netflix and chill. Netflix and learn.
Basically. So, like incorporating it into modeling, it kind of happened at the same time though, like when I just got back into modeling. But I would say like with like the product I'm producing and like the final finishing, I don't really think about like, oh, I look like this or I look like that, or this is gonna appeal more to these people than this people. When I do like my work, like I live in my own world, girl. Like I really just like I do whatever the hell I want to do. I I look at people, that's something that's like very different about me. And when it comes down to like a lot of racial sensitivity, and it could be very ignorant though, but I really just like, I look as people.
Yeah.
Like I really do not look at people because of the color of their skin. And so when I'm choosing like who I want to work with or what type of content I want to produce, I just think about this person's work is great, I want to work with them.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's not really like, oh, are you Middle Eastern? Are you Australian? It's like, no, you're bomb as hell. I want to create this and you can help me do it. You know what I mean? When it comes down to like how I'm perceived like in the industry as a model, I would say, in my opinion, I think it's kind of benefiting me because the industry is realizing that uniqueness is important because it's selling things. When you're flipping through a magazine, like, yeah, it's cool, you see like a pretty white girl, but you flip through a magazine and you see me or fucking Naomi Campbell. Yeah, I'm putting us in like the same category. You know, like she's like black, but she's exotic, you know, like it makes you stare at the photo longer and it's gonna actually make you look at what else is going on. So it's not necessarily always a flip. It's kind of like a flip and oh, I'm gonna look at this for a few minutes.
A little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, and I would say like with agencies in other cities, like I think I've had more luck because of like my diverse look.
I feel, for me looking in and following on Instagram, I feel like you're very, you know, power to the women and work with a lot of dope women creatives. Right. Is that something that's important to you?
Yeah. So yeah, working with women is extremely powerful to me. So like, no matter what background they're from, and it's because I always feel like I don't get enough women like support from the women who I want the support from women who I feel like we're on the same exact level. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I get a lot of support from women in Miami or Europe or New York or LA, and it's like, yo, like what about the girls in Chicago? Like why don't you fuck with me if I fuck with you? Yeah. You know? So it's very important to me, like for me to support everyone. If you're above me, same level as me, or under me, like I'm still gonna fuck with you as long as like that love is kind of reciprocated. I think women have it harder than anyone in this fucking world. I don't care what race you are, you know, it's just like we have it extremely hard, and it's really shitty when women are knocking one another down for like a confidence boost. Because that's what it is.
It's just whack.
Yeah, but that's really what it is. You know what I mean? And I get it. Like we're in competition with one another, but I feel like once that mentality switches, like you'll realize, like, yo, we could all eat. Like there is literally enough money, enough success, enough happiness in this world where we could all eat. It's just the men are there, and we gotta knock them down.
Yeah. And what about social media and that influence in your work, your connections, your day-to-day life? How do you think? I personally think social media has its pros and cons. It's definitely beneficial in a business sense and connecting with people, but it does have its, you know, comparing yourself, trying to see what everyone else is doing. How do you think that has benefited or hindered your modeling and your personal identity?
Okay, so yes, I agree with you. Social media has a lot of pros and cons. There are days I love it so much, and then there are days where I just want to deactivate my profile and live a life like how people lived in 2009. When like MySpace was a thing, but you know, like social media wasn't really a thing. Social media is great because you can connect with people in ways that were impossible literally like 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It's amazing. You can monetize off of it. It's great for business. I benefited from it for modeling just by like being able to collaborate with people. These are people who I would have I may have come across them, but I will never know because I don't live in that world. I've met many photographers, many makeup artists, you know, people in my field. I've met a large portion of them through social media. And same thing, like those people go to me, I'll come to them. Negative about social media, there is a lot of comparison. There was a time where I saw myself like getting kind of like sad, or just like really like, damn girl, like you're not doing enough, or damn girl, like you don't look like this, so it's gonna be hard. But I do a really good job at like snapping myself back. I also talk to my friends a lot, probably like too much. I'm sure y'all get annoyed at me. But like I like to express myself. I like to talk about my concerns. And if they see like I'm tweaking, like, girl, you're trying to compare yourself to Kim Kardashian, like that body fake. You know what I mean? They help me like snap back into reality. And then to kind of like cope with that, if I need to, like, I'll really just like focus on my own feed. Like I won't go through the news feed to look at all the beautiful things you guys are doing. I'll literally just look at my fucking page, post something, go on my story. Like I would try my best not to be distracted.
That's real.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard though. It's really hard. I don't even know how much time I spend on social media a day. It's probably bad. It's probably like 2 hours. Just like all throughout the day though. Like, not saying like in one sitting, but girl, first thing I do when I wake up, pray to God, pray to the universe, check my mail on my phone, because that's where the money's at. Money is not really in the DMs. Like, money's in your email.
That's the real business inquiries.
Yeah. And then, I could spend like 25 straight minutes on Instagram in the morning catching up on what's going on in everyone else's life, and it's not happening in my own.
Yeah.
So.
Same thing. Literally this week I've been like, don't check your phone. Don't check your phone. Don't check your phone.
And it sucks that you even have to think about that.
What time is it? What's the weather? Oh, Instagram.
It sucks that you even have to tell yourself that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I love being in situations like right now where I'm like, I'm not even thinking about my fucking phone.
Disconnected.
Yeah, like I feel so disconnected, but I feel so present at the same time.
And that's how you know you're around. I'm gonna put myself around good people.
Yeah.
But like I think about that with like my friends, or when I go out to a party. If I'm having a good ass time, I'm around good people, I'm able to have a good conversation.
Yep.
I am not documenting anything from that party. And then the next day I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even get a picture of my outfit. It was mad cute.
If you
like,
see
you know
me,
what?
if you see me at the club and I'm on my phone, I'm not having a good time. And I'll even tweet it like, yo, I'm at the club. I'm obviously not having a good time. They know I'm buying me a drink.
You know what?
Yeah, but like those are the experiences like I really like fiend for. Like I pray for those type of experiences. Like, yo, this is the type of shit like I don't even care if anyone else sees it. I don't need to flex. Like I'm having a great time. I'm here in the moment. I'm with people who I fuck with, and that's just like the perfect life,
I agree, and I pray for more experiences, more times like that.
Definitely.
Feeling awkwardly, looking into my phone, I don't got shit to do on my phone.
Right, like making shit up.